Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Ahdian Anggraini Bangsawan from Muslim University of Indonesia, and this is my partner Hasni Darsyam and Nuraini Amiruddin from Muslim University of Indonesia too. Today I will presentation my research with the title is Adjustment of Income Tax for Employee Scam. Is this effective? Okay, let me starting by giving you some background. Recently, the government changed the tax calculation scam for individuals. Suryo Utomo, the Director General of Tax, said that the reason for changing the tax calculation scam for individuals was because the previous calculation scam was considered complex and potential confusing. So, a new simpler scam was created with the aim of making it easier for the public to calculate their own income tax Article 21. However, in practice, this change is failed to provide its own challenge for individual and companies due to change in this calculation scheme. Several potential issues include the first, the short time spent for adjusting the calculation system is likely to be quite troublesome for tax withholders because this regulation was only enacted in December 2023 and his regulation applies on January 1, 2024. Moreover, the tax authorities only began actively providing socialization regarding this change starting in January 2024. So it's possible that the socialization has not been evenly distributed to the public, even though the regulation is already in effect. And the second, the socialization is needed to the company and employees who receive income to ensure mutual understanding between employers and their employees because this relate to an individual's income, which will be subject to tax withholding. This tax deduction is a very sensitive matter because it will be reduce a person's income. When the calculation and deduction system changes, it will automatically impact the amount of tax that will be deducted later. And the last, there is a possibility of issues arising in calculating tax for employees, such as overpayment or underpayment at the end of the year. Additional, employers may face cash flow issues due to excess payment of tax Article 21 at the end of the year. Based on the background of the issues above, the objective of the studies is first, want to understand and analyze the difference in the amount of tax payable between the income tax calculation method based on the old regulation and the TER scam. And the second, want to understand the impact of the change in the tax article calculation on both taxpayer and employers. This is a research method. This research use a descriptive qualitative approach with data collection method through literature studies. So the studies begins with a literature review from various books, journal, regulation, and laws. Subsequent, it takes several sample cases of income tax Article 21 calculation presented in Ministry of Finance Regulation atau PMK number 168 of 2023. These cases are then used to compare the income tax calculation scheme for individual based on previous provisions with the individual income tax calculation scheme based on the currently applicable average effective rate scheme. The objective is provide an overview of the difference between the old and current income tax Article 21 calculation scams, and to understand the impact of this regulatory change on the taxpayers and companies. The data analysis technique in this study uses comparison analysis, where the comparison analysis is a method used to compare two or more element, data or variable to identify similarities or difference between them. There are various types of triangulation techniques used by researchers to increase the validity of data and research findings, such as technical triangulation and researchers triangulation. Uh, Result and discussion. Uh, there is some example of illustration for the calculation of income tax Article 21 for permanent employees by comparing the calculation of income tax Article 21 based on the Tax Regulation Harmonization Law atau Undang-Undang HPP with the calculation of income tax Article 21 based on the average effective tax rate scam. These illustrations are taken from several sample cases presented in Ministry of Finance Regulation number 168 of 2023. The first illustration, the calculation of income tax for individual with a monthly income of less than 5 million rupiahs, and the second illustration is the calculation of income tax for individual with a monthly income of less than million rupiahs, but in certain months, in addition to receive a salary, they also receive another compensation such as bonus and allowance. Based on illustration 1 and 2, it's known that for gross income less than the non-taxable income threshold, there is no difference in the income tax payable that must be paid. However, if a taxpayer receives other additional compensation, such as bonus or allowance, uh, certain methods based on the TER calculation, the income received will be taxed in the month he received the addition compensation. However, at the end of the tax period, specifically in December, there will be an overpayment of tax deduction. Regarding this overpayment, the company must refund the excess tax deduction to the taxpayer by providing proof income tax Article 21 deduction for the final tax period, no later than the end of the month following the final tax period, which is the end of January. In addition, the company may apply for a restitution of the overpaid income tax Article 21 from the Directorate General Tax. In illustration 3 is a example for calculation of income tax for employees with a monthly income above 5 million rupiahs. Based on example illustration 3, it's observed that the employees with high fixed monthly income, the application of TER scheme, the tax must be paid every January to November is lower than using the previous provisions. However, at the end of the tax year, there will be a significant underpayment of tax. Illustration 4 is as an example of calculation of income tax for employees who start working in the middle of the year. Based on illustration 4, it's known that the amount of tax deduction in the months the employees begins working will be greater if using the TER calculation scheme. than using the previous tax calculation method. Additional, there is an overdeduction of tax at the end of the year. And illustration 5 is the example of calculation if of income tax for employees who stop working in the middle of the year. Based on illustration 5, if using the TER calculation scheme, the amount of tax deducted while the employee is working will be greater than using the previous calculation scheme. And that is an excess deduction at the end of the tax year. And the last is the example of tax calculation for employees whose tax Article 21 is borne by the company. Based on illustration 6, uh, based on the previous tax calculation scheme, the tax borne by the company was classified as non-taxable income for employees, and this compensation cannot be deducted from the employer's gross income. However, based on the TER scheme, the tax borne by the companies is categorized as a deductible expense for the company and taxable for the employees. So, the employees' take-home pay remains intact, and the tax borne by the companies become a deductible expense. So, it can reduce the company's taxable profit. Okay. Based on the illustration above, we can conclude that there are several challenges are expected to arise in practice. The first is short time frame from issuance to enforcement of the regulation. With the limited time frame, some companies, especially small business, might not have had the opportunity to attend training or receive guidance on the new regulation. This restrict period force company to work extra hard understand the latest tax Article 21 calculation scheme. In addition, the risk of calculation error will increase if the adjustment to the regulation is rushed, potentially harming both companies and employees. Error withholding tax could lead to penalties and fines, making it essential to validate calculation carefully. And the second, risk of underpayment or overpayment leading to new complexities. For employees with the fixed income close to the non-taxable income threshold, receiving additional income such as bonus or holiday allowance atau THR during the year may result in overpayment at the end of the year due to the implementation of the average effective rate. Meanwhile, for employees with large fixed monthly incomes, the implementation of their tends to make the tax Article 21 paid monthly is lower than using calculation the previous regulation. However, at the end of the tax year, there is a high likelihood of significant underpayment. This becomes a challenge for employees, and as there is a possibility that tax withheld from January to November appear smaller, but the tax withheld in December might rise sharply or vice versa. And overpayment scenarios can also arise for employees who starting working in the middle year or resign before the year ends. And the last suggestion, for companies, it is important for companies to communicate clearly with employees about the potential for tax underpayment or overpayment at the end of the year, ensuring they are not surprised by tax amount that might differ from their expectation. Additionally, small and medium-sized enterprise should consider preparing a cash flow buffer or reserve to anticipate potential tax Article 21 underpayment that the company may need to cover temporarily before reconciling with employees at the year of the end. This approach can help reduce financial strain on the company during the tax adjustment period. And for government, considering that the implementation of average effective tax rate scheme is still new, more intensive socialization and training are needed. Especially for small and medium-sized enterprise, this effort aims to ensure that they understand the correct calculation method, thereby minimizing potential error that could result in tax underpayment or overpayment at the end of the year. And the government should focus on developing and implementing a clearer and more efficient restitution process. This process should be designed to minimize administrative burden for both tax withholders and taxpayers. Such an initiative is critical to ensure that the benefit of simplifying Tax Article 21 are not overshadowed by the complexity and additional costs potentially arising from the restitution process. Without a well-defined and efficient restitution system, the risk of monthly tax overpayment and or underpayment could create a final uncertainty and significant administrative burdens. That is my presentation. Thank you for taking the time to listen. I hope the ideas shared today were valuable and thought-provoking. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.